Welcome to the bold analysis. In Kenya, every day, politics will always win. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our video. After weeks of push and pull and trying to drag CS Matian'gi in the court over the purported raids, and we've seen the way the case has been playing out, this poster has emerged. On 25th March, probably that is next weekend, CS Matian'gi and friends have organized a Fred Matian'gi's prayer rally in Gusii Stadium. And I've seen this poster shared by Movement for Democracy and Change, guys, that Matian'gi is going to make a triumphant entry in Kisii. Remember, we said at one point, and I say that while William Ruto was really, not even William Ruto, let's say the investigative agencies were legally within their right to probe the purported raid and media being drawn into it when they were asked to produce photos and videos. But the agenda setting around CS Matian'gi could change and really catapult his pull, or rather lift his political profile. This is how it all over started with Joho, when Joho had a clash with former President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Within no time, really Joho was a very popular politician from the coastal region. Now, CS Matian'gi, by all indication, I saw leaders from the region when he was at DCI, Kisii Senator Richard Onyonka. I saw Eugene Wamalwa, who served with him in the cabinet. I also saw Okongo Omogeni, who is the Nyamira senator. And of course, Simba Arati, the Kisii governor, is also backing CS Matian'gi. So within no time, what I can see here is Matian'gi's profile is going to be clearly getting traction and gaining momentum. Within no time, Kisii will be, Matian'gi will be de facto leader in Kisii. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to look deep and trying to interrogate what is the plan behind this prayer rally? What do you expect? And what does this portray, or what is in store for William Ruto and the signal of this? I have always said that in Kenya, or rather in our politics, we have normalized a situation of taking the home ground supported, our community support, as a buffer zone, especially when we are going through political troubles. And that normally thrives in understanding that the Kenyan voter normally seems to sympathize with, or rather empathize with the aggrieved. You know, the challenge that happened with the whole Matian'gi fiasco is that he successfully played a victim card. And let me tell you where it started. When the first story about the raid came out, Raila Odinga and the lawyers going there, the statement from the word go was that Matian'gi's life is in danger. I know and I appreciate and I agree very well with the state now that we never went there. Personally, to date, I still believe that maybe there was nothing. Maybe it was state managed. Perhaps it was state managed. Then he flew out when Uhuru Kenyatta was rather during Magoha's burial, because the purported raid in the wake of Magoha's burial preparations, and he did not make a public appearance. He was out of the picture. When Uhuru went to Nigeria, he also flew to UK probably for some close family engagement. But the media ran with the story, and successfully UDA politicians ran with the story that Matian'gi escaped. And I remember people asking, whether William Ruto has hold of the system, because how did they allow Matiangi to leave the country? You know, and I think Kalonzo Musyoka was the one to come out and respond to that claim by saying that it was trying to vilify Matiangi. But do you know, at that moment, we tried to portray Matiangi as a man who was being sought after, and so he left the country. When he came back, we still slapped him with the summons. They remember the story of the summons had been going on, and himself became the first CS under Uhuru Kenyatta regime to be interrogated by the DCI. Matiangi was not a lightweight during Uhuru Kenyatta's reign, and many know him as a man who was an epitome of raw power. He was the man that was the wheel behind Uhuru Kenyatta. To some extent, I think we underestimated the fact that when Matiangi is in the picture, clearly Uhuru Kenyatta is in the picture. So we made a victim out of trying to pursue the issue about the purported raid. Matiangi became a victim. And to the residents of Kisii, I remember, and let me say, it was reported all over the media, that after he was released from by the DCI, some protest, some dummy protest was in Kisii. People saying, no Matiangi, no Ruto. Look at how that discussion has, the angle that conversation has taken. Now, he's making a tour to that region. What do you expect? I can tell you, and I can foretell this, that I know for those politicians who have always believed that Matiangi was their trouble, which I can also say, I think it's not a bit skewed approach, that I don't think the trouble was bit of Matiangi. Matiangi was just that the man who was in charge of interior security, and some of those things that are supposed to be executed are executed using the police. And he was the man who is the custodian of the police. For example, now, Kindiki is in charge of the interior. If Uhuru Kenyatta is to be arrested, or not even to be arrested, why is it not that Kindiki is being blamed for the Matiangi troubles? Why is it that people are blaming President Uhuru Kenyatta? And I can tell you, I can see that Kindiki played it very safe. He's actually not in the limelight. He's not responding to those things. And he's not, in fact, he's in media saying that one day he'll also be a former CS and will not want to be harassed the way, he will not want to go through what Matiangi is going through. So, the society simply is making Matiangi who he is. What do you think is going to play out when Matiangi makes that comeback? Number one, I can tell you that pressure will mount from the Kisii region, in the Kisii region, and those leaders around William Samoei Ruto will actually feel that the society, rather the community, is maybe deliberately trying to coalesce around the ideology of Matiangi. You need to appreciate that. Remember, when he makes, I think he comes from Nyamira, and probably he might even hire a political seat in that region. So when he goes there, and there is a hype within the community, within no time you will realize that those who are around him are more popular on ground than those who are not, even on the Kenya Kwanza. So feeling out of that pressure, they will start peeling off from the Kenya Kwanza stem, and then start sending mixed signals that, okay, this is our own, this is our own, this is our own. The same story is happening with Nyakango. Nyakango is the controller of budget, and it comes from Kisii. I saw yesterday when the press briefing was done, the person who was in charge, the person who was leading it, was none other than Silvanus Osoro, who is actually from the region and was coming out to say, responding on, actually felt a bit of a guilty, saying that this is not a witch hunt, since he also comes from the community and is the person who is leading calls for her to be expunged from that duty. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about this in the context of what has happened. You know, when the people will feel like, now this is one of our own, and the community is now coalescing around him, they will not have an option. Secondly, this is what I see. You know, we can talk about CS Matiangi in terms of what he did, the ills he did. But you can take away everything from Matiangi, but you cannot take away the fact that he is actually a doer. He is a deliverer. He is the man who delivers. From when he was dispatched to the Ministry of Education at the height of exam cheating, you saw what happened. He fixed the whole mess. And look at how he handled security in the very delicate moment of the 2017 general election. He was serving Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto orders by then. And you know, I've always said, if there is a leaders who could hear less of Matiangi, is actually the Raila Odingas. I've listened to, you know, Cherargei, you know, leaders here and there saying the way they were arrested at night and, you know, released and here and there. There is no leader, let's say the truth. There is no one in Kenya Kwanza who felt the wrath of Matiangi more than the NASA team. Tuambieni ukweli. Let's say the truth. There's no one in Kenya Kwanza that felt the wrath. Remember what happened when Raila was coming from airport. The resist. Remember the Miguna. So and that is why I normally say that when we try to vilify Matiangi as a man who was just mistreating them, Matiangi was actually executing orders of President Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto. But for example, in 2014, he dealt ruthlessly with NASA. After NASA, in 2022, within that time, I don't think there is no one who was... we've created a lot of theories about being arrested here and there, but tuambieni ukweli, amkupitia venye watu wa NASA walipitia. So in terms of deliverables, Matiangi is someone who will deliver. So on ground, who isn't beat on that? That is the second thing. The other thing is this. This is what is going to create the euphoria, and it's going to set the pace for other more arrests that can come. We know that it is clearly no secret that we seems to be going after Uhuru's men, legitimately, intentionally, for good reasons, or maliciously. Maybe it's a matter of wait and see. But if all of them will take that route, then we are going to make the new generals. And these are the new generals that then will spear the next political dawn. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my take. Let's meet in the next.